Bonjour everyone, welcome to another diecast showcase. Today thought I'd do another episode of the first two episodes where I decided to compare diecast that go really well in pairs. So it's going to be volume 3 of diecast best in pairs. And I'm going to do a little mix of different brands and check out the really diecast duos that really make sense. Start off with a couple recent mainline finds that I stumbled upon. The first pair of vehicles would be two Mazdas, basically, that decided to pick up from I think what this is, C case or something like that, B case, C case, I'm not even sure. Obviously, being in Canada, they're international cards, so it's not indicated anywhere. So but yeah, so basically a duo of Mazdas, basically, and both well, obviously the green FC3 SRX7 is part of the Hot Wheels the 80s series, but I mean it did actually go all the way into the early 90s if we're talking about production for the RX7, and this new mainline version of the 787B, which is really something I was looking forward to grabbing, because I love this era of LM car. I mean, it's pretty much the same specific era if we're talking about when the 787B was wreaking havoc with its four-rotor engine around Le Mans and whatnot. I mean, we're talking about also the transitional period, or no, the FD was pretty much well started there, but it was still in its first pre-facelift version and whatnot. So it's kind of the era kind of matches, although the FC is a little bit earlier. And I mean, they're two pretty iconic Mazdas. Two castings of Hot Wheels did really well. So I find they go well together, despite the fact that they're two very different cars. Maybe the FC is the one you drive to the track, and 787B is the one you drive around the track. But two great castings. I mean, this is, I don't know which number of color variation, but still got the details front and rear. And this bad boy here, I mean, doesn't have any details in the rear, but there's not a whole lot of rear, actual fascia, so it's not a big deal in my opinion. Front is done really well. Love the graphics, and great looking pair, great looking duo. So happy to find those. I also found basically the Nissan Z in this blue release, but I really wanted to do a side-by-side comparo as well versus the first iteration in yellow of the Z Proto, see if there was actually any differences. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed because they're kind of literally exactly the same except for the color and the wheels. I was looking for any type of differences if we're talking about tampos or maybe details in the body or anything like that, but they're literally exactly the same. I have not found any notable differences on my end, at least in regards to either of the two. But I'm happy to find the blue one though. We'll say that it's probably a card variation as opposed to a color wave and card print variation as opposed to actual change of the model. But yeah, good looking stuff. Happy to find it anyways. I think it looks good in blue, although I'm not a big fan of the wheels. I like the black top as well. I like the contrast of that. The tempo works really clean. Yeah, even like the actual lights themselves in the front, they're literally well, there may be a slight difference actually in the front lamp tempo. So if I look at the blue one, you clearly see what's mocked up to be an LED strip that's in the middle there. Whereas on the bottom, not exactly the same tempo work for the front lights. So I don't know if that's deliberate or not, but literally as I look here, that's the only difference that I can see across the cast, basically. So, and again, even the rear lights, they are literally exactly the same from one version to the other, but still interesting comparison. I mean, seemingly, yeah, front lights are slightly different, but that's pretty much the only difference that you'll see there on these on these two casts when comparing them. All right, next up, another pair. Basically, well, you know, it's kind of natural, but I stumbled upon these just a couple days back. Basically, there was the full series, but I only picked up the two that I was actually interested in. Actually, no, looking at the back of the card. Either way, here we are. So this satin black and gold series for the 55th. I picked up the 180SX, obviously, because I love Nissans, and wasn't sure I was going to pick up the E30 M3, but it actually looks really good. You know, both are lacking tampo work. We're talking about front and rear, but you know, definitely that's something that if ever I crack these open, I will be glad to add. Two good looking casts, but oftentimes not really detailed, because they tend to come out with a lot of tampos on the sides, so they forego the front and rear. Although the first edition of this in that wine red, oh gosh, I wish I had that one. That's really a piece that if I can add to the collection, I'd be really happy eventually. Who knows, maybe. All in all, yeah, I did find the full set, except for the Volkswagen T1 GTR. There was nowhere to be found. All the other 5 actually were there, and cool little thing as well, I actually had stumbled upon, although I didn't pick it up, that 66 Nova. There was actually a packaging error where it was packaged in a la Matchbox. So with the front of the vehicle facing the left side of the bubble. Didn't pick it up there because, I mean, it's a packaging error. It's not a big deal. Take the car out, doesn't really change anything, and I didn't really want to, you know, I don't collect the that specific Nova generation all that much. So, but yeah, these I'm really happy to find, especially that 180. Love those Advan RG looking wheels. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Next up, thought I'd show you guys, since we haven't had Johnny Lightning on peg for probably between 15 and 20 years in Canada. I thought I'd take out my only 2 regular Johnny Lightning releases that I have, both out of the classic gold series. Literally not a whole lot of these make their way out of specialized diecast stores, equivalent to cubby holes and things like that, basically. So here they are, 2 classic cars, part of the classic gold series. So we've got on the left the Sunbeam Tiger, and on the right a good old Toyota Land Cruiser. So basically, I really was happy to see that there was this release of the Sunbeam Tiger, because it's a little car that I really love. Just for reference, these were powered by small Ford V8s. Actually, so it's all listed here. There, all the information if ever you want a freeze frame on it. But basically, we've got you know, basically a Mustang powered little roadster. Very almost like a tamer version of the Shelby Cobra. And I love the color wave on this. This really nice metallic dark green, classic metallic dark green they call it. 2 racing stripes matching multi-spoke wheels with the Bridgestone Potenza tire lettering, kind of like a Resto mod, I guess. And yeah, that chocolate or caramel interior looks really, really good in contrast. You can see it's a right-hand drive vehicle. It is British, so kind of normal British with an American V8. So really cool. The base version of this was actually 4 cylinders, and it was actually the vehicle that Sean Connery drove in his first James Bond movie, or official James Bond movie. So cool little tidbit there. Very well detailed there, and I just love this green color. It's really, really deep, very metallic. So there you go. What's on this license plate? Let's just check on this license plate here. Oh, it's right. It's written right. Right, okay. And yep, good old Land Cruiser. Won't peruse too much on this one. Obviously, it's very iconic, but this is really, really well done. I really wanted to pick up a not too expensive, well detailed first gen Land Cruiser, and you know, managed to pick this one up a while ago. This is a 2017 release, so it came out a while ago. Not as limited as the Sunbeam in production. Sunbeam is one of 2,000, so that's pretty low production. And this one unfortunately does have a slightly damaged bubble, because it's been with me for a few years now, quite a few years, so in and out of storage and things like that. So I'll probably crack this one open eventually. I do like the card though, the old, since this is the 1980 version, I do like the old, very 80s ad, basically, maybe early 90s ad. So, but yeah, so classic gold release 2017. Here's the cars that were a part of this release. Yeah, very cool, very cool. Did I check on the? Yeah, I didn't even show you the back of this one. Got some releases here. I like it. I like the fact that now they actually do put out the out some pictures on the back and everything like that. So. That's the ones that are on the card there. I do admit that the Country Squire I wouldn't mind having. Same for the 61 Impala, which is pretty cool. So, but yeah, all in all, very cool couple of cars there. How about we jump back into Hot Wheels, but some premiums. This is one of the duos of cars I selected here that really represents well what I like to amalgamate as a diecast to go really well together, and happens also to be one of my favorite all-time Chevy body styles. This would be the 1968 to 1972 Chevy Nova. Here we got two 1970s and a Hot Wheels Premium, and there you go. So mild to wild kind of thing going on, you know. Got the Boulevard release wide body Nova. That's completely insane and very, very modified. Whereas we have a slightly tweaked, you know, slightly lowered, but still stock looking Fast and Furious release out of Fast Superstars for the same 70 Nova, basically. You know, you got the Cortez Silver with the black stripes, which is a classic color combo, and the nice torque thrust deep dish wheels with the black spokes. Whereas here we have completely, you know, custom, so kind of like slate gray or battleship gray or Nardo gray or whatever you want to call it there, with some black detail, matte black detailing, some really wide 5 spokes, all black as opposed to the chrome lips on the Nova that's stock looking, and you know, the wing on the back, and you've got the red roll cage in this one. You know, a whole bunch of things basically to make this a complete custom. And of course, no chrome. All the chrome's blacked out. It's very custom, but at the same time, it's like the kind of thing that you would expect, basically. You know, at a unlimited class type of track day. Got the little SS502 badge on here, eh? Wow, he's got the biggest of the big blocks in here, so that's pretty cool. I like when Hot Wheels does this, when they kind of badge the car based on what you would find under the hood. And this is definitely in my top 3 Chevys of all time. If we're talking about this specific setup right here, this is basically, if I weren't to keep a Nova stock, this is probably the extent of what I do to it. Slight stance adjustment, modern wheels, probably modern suspension and brakes, and but keep it as original as possible besides that. Let's see, next we're gonna jump into I thought I'd pull out some M2 machines. M2 machines basically that are you know, that have the same packaging and whatnot, not necessarily related one to the other, but at the same time I find it's a really cool side-by-side comparo, especially taking into account the muscle car wars of the 60s and 70s. So I decided to pull out these two Autolift 2 packs for you. So we've got a newer release on the left and an older release on the right. You have the Moon Eyes first gen Camaros and the Super B Hemis on the right. I love these twin Autolift packs, not only because they come with a metal lift, which is really cool for like garage dioramas and whatnot, but also because they're going to be giving you 2 versions of the same car that are going to be oftentimes quite different. You'll notice, you know, the Moon Eyes Camaros, they're not super different, basically, one from the other, except for the whole color scheme, the logo type and whatnot. That's going to be a little bit different. With the top one looking a little bit more like a drag car versus the one on the bottom. Although they both have the drag setup, if we're talking about wheels with the steelies in the back with the slicks and whatnot. So, but you'll see more what I mean if we look at this one a little bit closer. I mean, these two are like different trim, basically, seemingly. You know, one's got the rally wheels, one's got the stylized 5-spoke wheels. They both have the black vinyl top, and they both have the hockey stick stripes on the back there, with the little Super B logo in the middle. But I mean, the color waves are really different. Both are very period correct, although I do have a slight preference for the one on the bottom. And yeah, again, you get that really cool lift and everything. So I find these really nice pieces, but I'd have a hard time opening them, though, to be quite honest with you. They look good in package, and you know, especially the Moon Eyes one. I mean, it's a really quality card design as well. I find overall the packaging is really nice. So yep, and they're you'll notice as well, this is a 2021 release, and if you look at the little details on this style of older card, this one's a 2019 release, you'll see you have that little square here with all the details and everything like that. So 5,150 pieces issued if we're talking about the 2021 Moon Eyes release. And I don't think that there's actually, yep, there's no numbered production. It's just listed premium edition. There's no production numbers on the Mopars. So, but all in all, really nice pair. And I thought I'd conclude this little showcase with my 2 favorite Hot Wheels team transports of all time, and they're actually pretty much, you know, they do go pretty well together. So The first one is obviously the R34 GTR in the Nismo Z-Tune livery and body kit on that Aerolift flatbed truck. It's probably my favorite fantasy truck of the series, and probably still my absolute favorite. And I know that it's the same for a lot of people, and a lot of people that don't have this one, definitely it's part of their grail list. The infamous number 3 Skyline van, Hakosuka Skyline wagon with the carry-on in Advan livery. So these two, I mean, it's like almost like a then and now. It's almost like a, you know, the origins to, you know, we can't say current now, but I mean, you know, the last Skyline GTR per se, before it became just the GTR. You know, it's like the genesis of everything that was learned and that was refined from the R32 onto the R33 and finally to the R34. You know, I mean, these two they go so well together, and yeah, I'm really happy to have both. So I'll end the video on that view of these two really nice team transports. And yeah, if you enjoyed viewing along with me, feel free to comment your feedback below, hit that like button, of course subscribe if you'd like to be notified of future uploads on my behalf, and obviously I will be catching you on the next one. Till then, stay safe, happy hunting, and take care.